like confetti in a windstorm.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is Story to Screen. I am Prana Songbird, and on today's episode, the Gemini Mind, Mark Allen Lanoue, will be interviewing the one and only Sharon Lia. This woman is Grammy nominated, frontwoman of her own band, a symphonic rock band. Yes, I said it, symphonic rock. Also, she has a beautiful heart and is the founder of Ladies Who Rock for a Cause. She's amazing, you guys. I can't wait for this interview. Let's get started. Gemini Mind, Mark Allen Lanoue.
Hey, all my friends, fans, and freaks. This is Mark Allen Lanoue, the Gemini Mind. And today, this is alongside with Story to Screen and the Starfish Foundation. That is wearestarfish.org. They're an organization that helps youngsters in crisis through mentoring and positive experiences. So coming up here in a moment is a good friend of the station here. It would be Sharon Lia. How you doing, Sharon?
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Oh man, I'm always asked that question, and I always say living the dream. And I'm
I
still
could ask
waiting.
you how you feel, but then you could be like my dad and my grandfather. I feel with my fingers.
Yeah, I feel a little squishy today.
Yeah.
So before we get started, though, I would like you to kind of like have the floor here to kind of give just the upfront of who Sharon Lia is in a nutshell, so that people that don't know, unlike me, which I know, but the others will like to know, I'm sure. So if you want to give that little upfront before we start diving in.
Oh God, I want to do something funny, but I'm just not really funny. I could call myself a freak, since that's how you're opening your show.
Hey,
Uh,
I'm a
That's
freak
probably,
too. It's all right.
yeah, that's probably why we're friends. I'm a songwriter and piano player, vocalist, author, Grammy-nominated album contributor, voting member of the Chamber of Commerce. I love music and people, and I also have a foundation that helps women in need. So, like, that's kind of like the nutshell, I guess.
Well, which is good to have that nutshell, Prone, because that's going to be some of the stuff we're going to talk about. Obviously, diving into, because you're multi like me, you've got multifacets. You know, it's not just about the music. There's other things that you do. So your music has been described as cinematic, symphonic, and deeply emotional. So why don't you kind of dive into that a little bit? I know we're going to talk about the actual music itself, which will kind of move into that, including some of the songs that we'll also share here on this program. So,
Well, so I mean, right now, we have our most recent album is sci-fi, cinematic, symphonic rock, and it's called Expanse. It's an album. It's a 26-song album with 11 radio songs, and then 5 symphonic versions, and then 10 instrumental versions. It has 3 books and videos and short stories, which we created. So it's like, well, it's an in-depth project. But anyway, so the goal was to, because I write a lot of different music, but primarily it's melodic. It has movements like classical music. You know, I've been out in dance land, and I've been out in pop land, and I've been out in just ballad land, and even blue-eyed soul. But I worked with a producer once who said, I'd really like you to focus on a certain lane and what resonates the most with you. So symphonic rock is where it's at. It's like big epic movie theater music, but rock, a rock version, like ELO, Yes, Evanescence, Nightwish, just that big stadium sound, the big feel, all the emotions. It takes you somewhere and it transports you. So right now I am doing symphonic rock, and I'm sticking to that story.
well, I think that's kind of connected though to some of your influences, right? You know, because I mean, so we've talked about some of your influences before, like Evanescence, for example. I would consider them to be or especially the earlier stuff. I would consider that to be symphonic rock.
Yes, 100%. And she actually put out I think an instrumental symphonic album, and it's just, I love it. The big sounds, the orchestra, just all the parts that just, it moves me so much, So,
Right. Well,
yeah.
well, seeing you live just recently, actually, it's quite clear that your band feels the same way about it. I mean, so you all coalesce very well together, and it seems that everybody really enjoys the experience, and then therefore it delivers a much better experience because they seem to really dig it. So
they feel it, they dig it. I even saw my bass player. He was singing the words in the background. I saw it in our videos. We just put up some. I don't even know if I had a chance to tell you. We actually put up some of the footage from the festival, from Atlantic City. So you might be able to check that out. But he was singing along. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
that's very cool. And by the way, too, so they can see, because we're going to talk about it later too. So there it is. I don't know if you can see it outside the light there, but yeah, that's the.
You did good.
It's a really cool cover. I dig it. I like the colors too, by the way.
Thank you. They were all very intentional.
Yeah, very much so. It looks like so. So a lot of people also say about this album, it's like they say it's like a whole universe. So I know that you're also into like the space kind of stuff, and out there the whole concept of the expanse, all that kind of stuff. Me being from working from NASA for all that period of time, it kind of connects there. But you want to dive a little bit more into that aspect of it?
Yeah. I am a huge sci-fi fan, and there's a part of sci-fi that's not fiction, right? There is the true expanse of the universe, and there's all the science that goes behind it. But I really love that entire genre of storytelling. And I also imagine what it must be like from an outsider's point of view to what human life is like. So when we made this album, I wanted it to have a beginning and an end, but a genesis, not really an end, but a moment, like a moment of clarity. So this is like a cosmic handshake to the universe of what it means to be fully human. And it opens, it has a great opening. You have to just go listen to it. Just trust me when I tell you to go listen to it. And it goes into a song about finding something to believe in. And it takes you through love, loss, liberation, grief, triumph, victory, breaking chains, finding your purpose, understanding your purpose, and then ultimately finding the light within. So to me, it's about the expanse beyond the stars to the one within our souls. And we touch in the storytelling of like these science fiction characters, right? So, if you really listen, not you, like if a listener puts on the headphones and listens from the beginning to the end and really like hears the lyrics, they might actually have to listen to it a couple of times, but there's a whole story coursing through this work.
So all of that piled on top of that, it's also that this is a deeply personal chapter in your life going through this whole thing too, right? As you were writing this and creating this.
Yeah. So COVID had just hit. As COVID was hitting, I was writing a song called The Sum of Us, and I went into the studio. We were recording it. I had people from around the globe. One of our friends, actually a few of our friends are on this song. You might know Leah Meta, Kit Wakely was part of it.
Wonderful people.
Yeah. Suzanne Grazana, you might know. But anyway, we wrapped that up and we said, okay, we're done with that. We released that song. Deepak Chopra thought it was cool, so he put it on his Spotify new artist, new song list, which was cool. We did one song in the studio, and then Rick got sick. And honestly, nothing else mattered in the world. He was in the hospital for 46 days. And when you're going through that tick-tock, tick-tock, those passing moments seem like an endless journey. And every day they would tell me to prepare myself because he may not come home. So when he did come home, we rehabbed him here, and he was on oxygen and very weak. And again, I was just thankful he was home. So one day he says to me, we recorded Invisible. I think it's time we should get back into the studio. And that's when all the magic really started. So Invisible was recorded. The ideas of the other songs were down, but we had hit this hump. And the true beauty of it really is that if you want to add one more descriptor to this album, is that it's an example of hope in motion. And we almost didn't make the album, to be fair. So it took 4 years in total. And then we'll probably talk about it, but it's a fully immersive album. So there are other components of this that took time, lots of artwork, 4,000 hours of work just to get the album. And I don't think we're even including the books. So yeah, we almost didn't get here. So.
Sure, but there's definitely nothing like that feeling when someone tells you to prepare for the worst when you're in a hospital. So that's, I know that it was great when he came home. So
yeah, they don't, they're not allowed to give you hope. So every day I would call and I would ask, and I would say, what are his chances? Is he going to make it? And they basically told me he's got a 50-50 chance. So just get prepared. That was what they told me every day. And I was his biggest advocate. I was like, give him a vitamin D test. Of course, his vitamin D was in the gutter. So they gave him a drip and, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually remember from back then, because I knew you back then when that was going on. So
that's right.
And meeting Rick, it's great. I'm glad he made it through because he's a really great guy. I enjoyed hanging with him as well. So, we're going to go ahead and play some of your music. So there's a song called Invisible. And when we come back from the station break, we'll talk a bit about that song, the genesis of the song and what it means to you and all those kind of things. So we're going to go ahead and break off here for a few minutes, folks, and then we're going to come back and talk some more with Ms. Sharon Lia. Just stay tuned.
Hey there, changemakers. Imagine a world where every small act creates a ripple of impact. At wearestarfish.org, we're turning dreams of a better tomorrow into reality. Join our global community of starfish where every person like you is a catalyst for positive change. Whether it's empowering education, environmental stewardship, or supporting local communities, we believe in the power of every individual to make a difference. Visit wearestarfish.org today and discover how you can be a part of the wave of change. Wearestarfish.org, because each one matters.
Invisible is how I feel when I'm with you. Invisible, invisible, and so unseen. I face this truth, and I may never ever, never ever, never really know. Why is it that I feel so utterly alone? You say, I say it's all okay. We cover up the ugly scars, but still the doubt remains. Oh, 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 scars, but still the doubt remains. Oh, still remains. Do you feel the same way? Oh, utterly alone. Why does this feel so strong? I know it feels. There are moments where unseen illusions always fail. When between us lies this veil, invisible is how I feel when I'm with you. Invisible and so unseen, I face this truth. Oh, you are everything to me, and when I sing, I pour out my heart and I let you in, making what's invisible come to light again. Oh, utterly alone. Why does this feel so strong? Ooh.
Fellow mind travelers, this is Mark Allen Lanoue, the Gemini Mind. Come take a journey with me through this place we call life by picking up a copy of my book, Reality Was Once the Tapestry of the Dreamer, available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon online. You can find the links also on my website, markallenlanoue.com. Chock full of stories about organized crime, the paranormal, my music career, NASA, and more. So go pick up your copy, and you all rock. Indeed. All right, all my friends, fans, and freaks. We're coming back here with Ms. Sharon Lia. We're going to talk a bit about the song that you just heard called Invisible. So tell us a bit more about this track.
Oh, God. I heard a song on the radio, and it was really vulnerable. And I specialize in vulnerable approaches to my music. And I was like, boy, if he can do it, I can do it. So I sat down at my piano. And I basically said, this is what I want to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. And I wrote Invisible. And what inspired me was the feeling of some of your closest friends or family members who just don't see you. Or you're in a relationship and the other person is abusive. And it doesn't matter what you do. You can cover up all the ugly scars. You can try to fix things. But the truth of the matter is that you know, these scars don't fade. And when you feel invisible, unseen, and unheard, that's a really difficult place to be in any relationship. But I have a lot of faith too. And, you know, in the supernatural, there's a veil and there's a truth behind the veil. So I'm also conveying sort of a double entendre or a triple entendre, hopefully that someone can glean their own story from. But I will say this, at the time that I wrote it, I felt pretty deeply entrenched in feeling invisible. And I've grown in that time to realize that I actually thought it was all me and that I was the problem. And I realized that sometimes people can't meet you where they're at, where you're at. And it doesn't mean they don't love you, and it doesn't mean that you're truly invisible. And then sometimes if you are invisible, that is not the relationship that you should be in. So it's kind of like a nod to be like, sometimes you just have to realize that you're not supposed to be in that relationship. So that's the short story.
Well, some of we sci-fi weenies want to be invisible sometimes.
I'd like an invisibility cloak, please, for 300.
There you go. I just don't want to be handed to it by death. I just like Harry Potter.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah. So other than the music, because a lot of times musicians are thought to just be all about the music. But tell us about the other parts of you, because you're not just a songwriter and performer. You know, you do other things. You know, you have other visions. You do other things. So why don't you tell us more about that side of you?
Oh gosh, I'm an artist, so I shared equally a passion for music and art. So you would always find me in an art room or a music room or in my house doing music or art. Absolutely passionate about it. I eventually went to college for music. I went to the Aaron Copland School of Music, and I ended up quitting, dropping out, whatever you want to call it, finished the semester, but I switched over to graphic design because I have a passion for vision, the visual aspect of things. And I believe that is extremely important to know what story you're trying to tell in your visuals. So I became a graphic designer, and it has served me well because I designed all of our artwork, my logos, books, and I like to push the limit and push my boundaries. So a lot of times I won't even know how to do something, and then I will figure it out. And I've pretty much lived my whole life trying to figure it out. I didn't really have help, or when I was looking for help, I couldn't get it, or people would not be able to help at that time, or whatever. I just didn't know exactly where to turn. So yeah, I'm also an artist, and I'm a storyteller. And yeah,
That's awesome. So talk about being invisible. There's also in your expanse, there are some hidden gems in there, right? So there's hidden messages, and you took other avenues to place those in there. So tell us a bit more about that as well.
Well, so I created a book. It's called Expanse Chronicles, Lyrics, and Visuals. And so I created an avatar for every song, and a visual scape for everyone. And this is before AI, okay? It's just, none of that was made up, okay? And I used my computer graphic skills. I used my drawing pen on the computer. So I part drew, part illustrated, part, pulled in photography. Yeah, so I created this visual book of the lyrics. And then I also did a songbook. So it's all the notation. And that was a labor of love. And actually my bandmate, Matt, helped me with that tremendously. And I'm forever grateful because he helped bring the notes to life on the paper. And we worked on that together, and it was a true gift. But so to your question, to your point, each of these avatars, each of these landscapes, and every song has its own visual. And even the front cover is full of hidden gems. Like, so the gate on the cover, it's an iron gate. The iron gate appears in the song Feel It in My Bones, which is a song I highly recommend people listen to. And it's a portal between a world that you're in and the world that you go to. And it's also represents coming up against something that blocks you and finding a way past it. So in the artwork on the front, the word expanse is spelled out, and I have 3 lights, and there's a center light in the middle of the A. And then underneath of it, so that represents the light at the end of the album, which is where you want to eventually find that most magnificent light. There's Morse code. And the Morse code stands for something. And if you listen to the album, you might be able to figure it out. I could tell you that it ends the lyrics of one of the songs. So, and then there are just other symbolic things, like there's a light on the earth in the background on the album cover, and that's a nod to my sister. Her soul, her spirit is still with me, you know? So when you're seeing the earth in the background with the light on the earth, then you see the gate behind me. Now I'm like this giant on a different planet. I've made it through the portal, right? I'm on this other planet. I'm in this other world. And the pose itself is commanding. You know, the way I want to say it's like a character. It's me. That's a picture of me. But, you know, it's like a warrior, because that's what going through the journeys of life really is. We're all warriors. We all have our stories. And she's just like the hero, the Shiro, you know, getting ready to, like, okay, get out into the expanse. There's more too, so we'll leave some for discovery.
So talking about, you know, positive stories like this and bringing light into the darkness, we're going to take another station break where we're going to hear I Will Wait during this particular one, but we're also going to learn a bit more about Starfish Foundation. We are starfish.org. So just stay tuned, and we'll be right back with Sharon Lia.
Yesterday was harder than all the rest. When I realized you were being pulled away, divide us as it may, but our love will remain. Elysium or a deep dark abyss, it doesn't matter, you will never fade into the mist, 'cause my piercing eyes will see through the shadows and the deep. And I will wait for you, dear. And I will wait for you. If we quiet all the fears, boldly face frontiers, will stay true, stay true. I believe the promise we made yesterday. Fire will burn, I'll be tending to the flame. I know it'll be alright. If I could believe it, I want you to stay, and I will wait for you, dear. In night will wait for you. Hear me in the voiceless spaces. Promise me you will hear me. See me when the days arise. The memory of my face. Hold me until you go. Hold me until you go.
Switching hotels, changing flights, plans move fast, day or night. No pen, no paper, no app to load. Just scan the tag, your info shows. Update quick, anytime, right from your phone, safe online. One little tag that does it all, ready when adventure calls. Scan and go, travel smart today. My travel tag leads the way. Your bag's connected, clear and true. Peace of mind is traveling with you. Near or far, where life takes you. One simple scan is all you do. Smart, secure, and modern too. My travel tag is made for you. Eco-friendly, built to last. Laser etched for futures fast. School trips, business, family fun. One smart tag for everyone. My travel tag. Scan it once and you're good to go.
Hey there, changemakers. Imagine a world where every small act creates a ripple of impact. At wearestarfish.org, we're turning dreams of a better tomorrow into reality. Join our global community of starfish where every person like you is a catalyst for positive change. Whether it's empowering education, environmental stewardship, or supporting local communities, we believe in the power of every individual to make a difference. Visit wearestarfish.org today and discover how you can be a part of the wave of change. Wearestarfish.org, because each one matters.
Hey everybody, we're back here with Sharon Lia. And so Sharon, we just played this song, I Will Wait. So why don't you tell us a bit about this particular track?
This one's super exciting for me. It can mean a number of different things. I Will Wait. It's about a husband who has to leave his wife to go off in a war in space. And she stays behind and promises to keep the fire of their love going. And she waits for him and encourages him that in the darkest moments, if he's out in outer space and he's floating, that could happen. He'd be in pitch black, complete darkness, right? And there would also be silence. So she sings to him a song that he can hear in his mind while he's battling and whatever it is he goes through. And she says, hear me in, see me when I can't think of it right now. Hear me in the voiceless spaces. Promise me you will hear me. See me when the darkness erases the memory of my face. Right? So, and then I wrote a short story video about this where it's the whole story about how the two of them were on Earth, and Earth was like in total ruins. They take a spacecraft off planet, they go into the outer star system, and they find a planet to live on in the outer rim. And the darkness that consumed the Earth was now making its way across the galaxy. So even though they were in a new town, in a new place called Elysium, he still got called to war. And he goes off to war, but before he leaves, he gives her a compass. And the compass, he said to her, is not to be north, south, east, or west, but the brightest star in the galaxy, and to look for him there. So he gave that to her, and she held on to it for a very long time. And literally, she kept the fires going. She literally had these moments where she sat around a fire with the people in the town and waited for his return. And he did return. And the entire I don't know what you call them townspeople of Elysium rejoiced at his defeating the darkness once and for all, and his triumphant return to her. And she waited. I will wait. And that is how we feel about people we love when we're separated from them. It could be your child that doesn't want to talk to you. It could be your boyfriend who said, I need a break. It could be your parents who got mad at you. When you have that love for someone, it doesn't matter what battle it is, you will wait for them. And it's a remarkable love story.
Other than your music and your art and all those things that you do, there's also something else that you do, which is actually quite worthy. It's a worthy cause called Ladies Who Rock for a Cause. I know you just had something going on in Atlantic City not long ago, and I picked this up off the website. Other people can pick up merch as well to help the foundation. So
look at you. That's amazing. You know, every bit of merch we sell, it's 100% goes to the cause. And I design all of it for free. I sit for thousands of hours. You have no idea. For 10 years, I started Ladies Who Rock for a Cause in 2015. I actually was battling cancer at the time. And my whole life, I wanted to use the power of music to help women. And the opportunity came for me to do that. And I got to work, and I created the visuals and the branding and the moniker, Ladies Who Rock for Cause, and all that. And this year was 10 years. We've helped women and children and men. We found that mostly women were oftentimes in need, and that is our main focus. It was amazing. And we brought together 10 bands, something like 100 volunteers. And it was a very long process to plan a festival. We do it all. We bring it all in. Lights, sound, funding, artist acquisition, artwork, marketing. It's a lot. Actually, if there's any volunteers out there.
wink, wink, wink. Know what I mean? Nobody.
Wink, wink, wink. And we are very lucky to have some amazing people like yourself and Eric, who was kind enough to come all the way up here.
Oh, that's right. We were there, weren't we?
You were. So when you said, let's do this podcast, I was like, oh man, Mark is one of the greatest people, one of the smartest people. And now I already know Eric, also same qualities. I'm like, this is beautiful. Let's do this, and you did such an amazing job. I know this podcast is about your guests, but I have to give you a little props because you rock. But it was amazing. And I'm so happy that we just grow a little bit every year and we are able to help more women. There is no greater feeling than knowing that every hour, every minute, every second, every day, month, year, everything that you put into something, helping someone with all of that effort, that is the greatest gift of all. That makes me really happy.
Absolutely.
And I thank everyone who's ever helped me, by the way.
Oh, and you got to meet Bumblefoot as well, and he even gave some hot sauce and some signed merch, right?
Oh, he was such a nice guy,
Yeah.
really. And wait a minute,
Eat breakfast. Shut up, eat breakfast was the place we ate. I thought that was so funny.
it was, and I loved the sci-fi, the science talk. The three of us, like three nerds, really sitting. I mean, I don't know if that's PC or not, but totally just geeking out on all of the stuff in the Expanse. And you guys don't have an album called The Expanse, and I don't have a Bumblefoot album that he's, that one that he just did. I don't know the name of it right now, but there's a space astronaut. It's his cat, and then you and your science and your NASA, and it's just, all the things about you that make you so incredible and why this podcast is so awesome. It was a great experience. It's really cool.
I have to do this because you were talking about funny stuff earlier, but I have to do this now because you don't remember the name of the album, but it's Bumblefoot returns. He says every time that he has it on, he has this little echo that goes returns. So I had to point that out. That's he actually gave you the CD for that one, right? So
yeah, totally jelly.
Yeah,
totally jelly. I'm about to buy one.
It's awesome. So, but yeah, that's great. I love the fact that I love organizations like this, especially too that you're able to use some of your other talents, and there's other people that are willing to come in and help with this as well. So
we have it's Ladies Who Rock for Cause. You can visit us at Ladies Who Rock 4 with the number 4, ladieswhorockforcause.org, and you can join our mailing list. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, there's also something too that we need to talk about, and that's I know you also have a children's book, right? And it's also, I believe I also have a copy of that. I have it in the other room, but I do have a copy. It's a little book and then a little disc, I believe, if I remember correctly, that you gave.
Yeah. So the children's album, I have a heart for music, for the way that it impacts everyone, right? So I have a children's album that I put out. I was frustrated with the children's music that was out there. So I decided I was going to make my own. And every song has a purpose and an activity. It's either teaching you call and response, or rhythm or alliteration, or syncopation, melody, body part identification. And it's something you can do with a child, like an infant, all the way up to like a third grader. So I put this album out, and I actually went out on the road, and I was doing this children's music show. And I always dreamed, this is before I became a graphic artist, I dreamed of specifically Down by the Bay, this one of the songs on the album, the artwork and what I envisioned it looking like. And so many, many years later, I just went into the adult music world and just did that. Not adult music, but you get what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
And, but my dream came true 2 years ago. I worked tirelessly around the clock to illustrate this book. I illustrated the book that goes with the songs. And it tells you what to do with your child or your student, or if you're a nanny, what to do with the children that you're taking care of. And then I packaged it together with a music box. So it's like a tambourine, a train whistle, because one of the songs is Get On Board, about, it's a folk song. Egg shaker, Lumi sticks, and liked the movement scarves. I mean, the book is adorable, and there's on every page there's a little basket, and in it you see the instrument you're supposed to use for that song. And in the back of the book there's an index of the instruments used in the book, and a couple of bonus art pages that you can frame or whatever. A huge delight for me to be able to give that, some good wholesome music for kids.
So where they get that? Is it on your website? Is it also available like on Amazon or anything like that, or is it?
So the book, all of my books are available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, like those retailers. But my box sets, you can go to my website. So SharonLiaBand.com / children's music is a private page, because I'm a rocker chick with a heart for kids, so I don't really make it my forward front page, but I do have a page. But all of my stuff is on Bandcamp, but you can get there from SharonLiaBand.com. Just go to my Bandcamp store, and my Expanse box set's on there, and the children's music box set is on there, and bundles too.
Sure. I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew where they could get that from.
Thank you.
So, and stitching all this together and coming back to the music, we also have another song that we're going to cover on here called Love You Forever. So what we'll probably do here is take another station break, and we'll go ahead and let everybody hear this song, and then we'll come back to you and we'll talk about this song as well.
Okay.
So everybody just hang tight, and we'll be back shortly to talk some more with Sharon Lia. Fellow mind travelers, this is Mark Allen Lanoue, the Gemini Mind. Come take a journey with me through this place we call life by picking up a copy of my book, Reality Was Once the Tapestry of the Dreamer, available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon online. You can find the links also on my website, markallenlanoue.com. Chock full of stories about organized crime, the paranormal, my music career, NASA, and more. So go pick up your copy, and you all rock. Indeed.
Do you want me like I want you? Do you think of me at night when you're lying there alone? Do you long to be with me at night? And do you feel the same, the way that I feel for you? And do you understand that my love is true? And I want to love you forever, and I will love you always and forever until the end of time. Babe, your love is all I've ever known. And do you feel the same when you're lying
Hey there, changemakers. Imagine a world where every small act creates a ripple of impact. At wearestarfish.org, we're turning dreams of a better tomorrow into reality. Join our global community of starfish where every person like you is a catalyst for positive change. Whether it's empowering education, environmental stewardship, or supporting local communities, we believe in the power of every individual to make a difference. Visit wearestarfish.org today and discover how you can be a part of the wave of change. Wearestarfish.org, because each one matters.
Okay, my friends, fans, and freaks, we're back here again with Sharon Lia, and she's going to tell us a bit about this song you just heard called Love You Forever.
Love You Forever. I wrote that song a long time ago. So when you talk about timeless music, that's going to be one of them. Oddly enough, I have an entire catalog of songs I have not recorded yet. I've been writing my whole life and I have not been able to record everything. I was sitting here in my studio with Rick and Darren. Darren was a guy that he's a dear friend and he was working with me. And we were talking about what songs we're going to put on Expanse, right? This has been a long journey. It's 4 years. And now it's 5 years. So anyway, Rick pulls up Love You Forever. And Darren said, "What is that? If you don't put that song on the album, I am going to move away." Because he moved here to be near us to work on on the Sharon Lia band and also Ladies Who Rock for Cause. So I'm like, "You like it?" He goes, "It's phenomenal." So it's very simple. It's about finding the love of a lifetime and promising to love you forever. And actually, I will share this with you guys, with your fan base. When I first wrote it, it was almost about a scorned lover, because she was writing about when you're lying in her arms, do you think of me at night? You know what I mean? It's like, but I decided I really just wanted it to be about being in love and loving someone forever. So I hope that that comes across. So yeah, it's a little tidbit.
Sometimes songs take those twists, and sometimes it's other people that tell you, "Oh no, that's been done 1,000 times. You don't want to do it that way." I'll tell you a quick story and keep it focused on you, but I just was reminded of this, is that Tony Franklin, when he played on the first Fiction 6 record, the debut, I was doing a song about my father who was murdered when I was younger, and it was I first was writing it about something else. It was called Promised Land. And of course, with that, the innuendo, yep. Welcome to your promised land. And when I sent Tony the lyrics, he was like, no, mate, this has been done 1,000,000 times. You can do better. And so then I ended up writing it about my father, journey to heaven and going into heaven, all that kind of stuff. But I know what you mean when you start off with the original premise on the song, and then
I love the song and it's a fan favorite.
Yeah.
So I just love that he loved it so much that he was like, he protested. He's like, "If you don't put this on the album, I'm out of here." So I'm like, okay.
That's awesome. So we want to make sure that on here too that we cover everything. So it's like, let everybody know where they can find you, your socials, things that might have been left off that you would like to put in closing, because I want to make sure that we get the whole story out there about Sharon Lia and the Sharon Lia band, and we're Ladies Who Rock for a Cause, and the children's book, and the cosmos, and the expansion, and the other dimensions. There you go.
You got it all. I was gonna say, do you have a week of Sundays? Because it's gonna take a while for me to wrap up. I would just say that we're just now releasing some of our last performance videos, and they're really beautiful. I would love your fans to follow us on YouTube, Sharon Lia Band. I have an entire series of Backstage with Sharon Lia. It's a season of us traipsing through all kinds of adventures, so check that out. I have a few new songs on the horizon. I have a song that I wrote for my mom that I played for the festival. It got a standing ovation, which, the little girl in me was just tickled pink that happened, because I think any artist knows that when you can make someone cry, and I didn't mean to make anybody cry, but a bunch of people were crying. I looked at them. I'm like, I've never played the song before, and I see everybody with their tissues going or like wiping their face. I wrote it for my mom, and I'm just so blessed and thankful that I got to share that, and also give a little bit of hope about where she ended up, in heaven. And so that song's coming out. That's called A Million Ways, and I definitely would love for your fans to check that out when it comes out. Join my mailing list. So basically, find me on Sharon Lia Band. I would just like to connect with people. I love sci-fi. I love cinematic rock. I love music. I love people. And I like sharing stories. So Ladies Who Rock for Cause, that's a 4. ladieswhorockforcause.org. You can find me in all those spots, but I look forward to hearing from some of you guys.
So if you go to Sharon's festival next year, just know that there's not a red carpet there. There's a pink carpet. So
That's right.
So when you go to take your photos, it'll be in pink. It won't be in red. And I thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And it's you're a wonderful friend, but this is really awesome to have you on here to be able to talk about what you do. So
thank you so much. Keep on rocking, my friend.
And for everybody else out there, you all rock. Indeed.
Thank you to everyone who joined us on this episode of Story to Screen, especially you, Sharon Lia, you wonderful rock star. It's very fitting. I am in Slidell, Louisiana right now. I just left New Orleans, Louisiana, and our next guest is Louisiana Music Hall of Famer, legendary rock star of Lillian Axe, Steve Blaze. He'll be back with the Gemini Mind, Mark Allen Lanoue, to tell you all about what he's been up to. So click subscribe and join us in the next episode.
Like confetti in a windstorm.